there should be no arguments on this episode. I was hoping we could make like an exception and make it 101 so it could never be bumped off.
No.
What? Fee? Oh, man. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. I'm going to fiercely defend this, just so you know.
That's fine.
Facts on tracks. We're gonna break some vinyl down from the front to the back with facts on tracks.
Showtime. Welcome to Breaking Vinyl. I'm your host, Des, a.k.a. Johnny Fever. As always, I'm joined by my three co-hosts. First up, the podcaster coming through in high fidelity, Evil Ed.
Can't wait for Des to get really pissed off at me.
Oh, you're such a hipster. How dare you? Okay. And the podcaster playing the deep cuts, Dangerous Dave. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up?
And last but not least, the podcaster with a degree in rock and roll, Eakenstein. What's up, B?
Hey.
As always, the mission of this show is for us to introduce each other and you, the listeners, to albums and bands which you may never have heard before, while also discussing the classics and the greatest album ever recorded. On an occasion, we will ruthlessly insult each other's musical taste. Tonight for sure, so buckle up and enjoy the show. Okay, before we get started, I would like to welcome our new listeners in I'm not prepared. Croatia.
Dude,
in Croatia.
It is literally written for you on the script. How many edibles did you take? Because you jumped like paragraph, then go back a paragraph, then jump 4 paragraphs. And you wrote the script.
I'm working off 2 scripts. I'm working off my note script and the script. I have 2 scripts in front of me. Okay. So welcoming our new listeners in Croatia. There you go.
What album are you doing, Des? Because you skipped that entire section.
I'm bringing that now. I'm about to bring it. Tonight, we will be discussing Appetite for Destruction, the debut studio album by the mighty Guns N' Roses, produced by Mike Klink, released on July 23rd of 1987 by Geffen Records. The album peaked at the #1 spot on the Billboard 200. The band's lineup was as follows. It looks like somebody was tinkering around here in the script. I wasn't going to write all this, but we've got W. Axl Rose on lead vocals, synthesizer on Paradise City, and percussion. We have the mighty Slash on lead guitar, acoustic guitar, slide guitar, talkbox, and backing vocals. We have got the unbelievably talented, unbelievably underrated songwriter, rhythm guitar player, singer, Izzy Stradlin on rhythm guitar, lead guitar, backing vocals, percussion, and a shitload of good songwriting. We have got the tall and unbelievably talented Duff McKagan on bass guitar and backing vocals, and holy shit is he fucking good on this album. And finally, we have the unbelievably underrated, unbelievably talented Steven Adler on drums. That's what we got. Oh, and here's where I would welcome our new listeners to Croatia. If I had just stuck to the map, we would have been fine.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it took us. It's been a long day. I was punched directly in the eye today in karate too, so I got my bell rung. Oh, okay. Let's do some quick band facts on this one. I will get us started. After selling only 200,000 records, this album was declared dead by Geffen Records. It was all but over, and I mean over, if not for the undying belief of one man, Tom Zutaut, who put his job and his reputation on the line at the 12th hour to save Guns N' Roses and this epic album from total and complete obscurity, and in the process, making it the biggest selling debut album of all times, The Top of the Mountain. Hallelujah. Dave, what do you got?
Oh, I got a bunch of stuff here.
Nice.
I don't know if I should spill it all to avoid spoiling it for everybody else.
I have some facts in my track breakdowns, but we'll get to them whether you get to them or not.
Yeah, let me get started here. The
Go
band initially considered Paul Stanley of Kiss to produce the album, but he was ultimately rejected by the band. He suggested that they rewrite Welcome to the Jungle. The band quietly balked, but strung him along, inviting Stanley to catch a set at a dive bar that reeked of beer and piss. A drunk and high Slash threw up about 8 times on stage, and Axl brawled with a guy in the crowd.
Nice.
Classic.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
The band was formed in March of 1985 by Axl, Izzy, Tracy Guns, who would have his own success with LA Guns, and a different bassist and drummer. By June of 85, Slash, Duff, and Steven Adler would join to create the classic lineup of the band. The band's name comes from the combination of previous bands that joined forces, Axl and Izzy in Hollywood Rose and Tracy Guns in LA Guns. All right. The group signed with Geffen Records in March of 86, receiving a $75,000 advance. They had turned down an offer from Chrysalis Records that was nearly double due to Chrysalis wanting to change the band's image and sound, but Geffen offering full artistic freedom. The band has mentioned in interviews that they took meetings with many record companies just to get dinner and all the free booze they could suck down in a few hours.
Nice. Nice.
If you guys want to go ahead, I got a couple more for when you guys are done.
Okay. Ed, what do you got?
So 2 things just based off what you guys said. Number 1, Dave, all the booze and drunk references and the vomit stuff totally makes sense now, because I think you're gonna hear me just say a whole lot of sounds sloppy on the recording. And Des, I don't know. Des and Dave, wouldn't you guys both kill to have sold 200,000 albums?
Killed.
Yes.
Killed.
All right. So several songs featured on later Guns N' Roses albums were considered for Appetite, such as Back Off Bitch, You Could Be Mine, November Rain, and Don't Cry. Which, when I learned that, I kind of got sad and happy at the same time. Happy because I'm assuming Izzy had a lot to do with that. And sad, I guess, that they had all these songs in the can and just put out crap after this album, because those are pretty much the only hits after this.
Yeah.
Or at least in my opinion. In mid to late 1986, the band recorded demos with Nazareth guitarist Manny Charlton. Mutt Lange was also considered to produce the album, but the record company didn't want to spend the extra money for him.
Nice.
So they went with Mike Klink, who also produced several Triumph albums.
Nice. Nice. Oh, that's why it's so classic. This album has a classic sound to it.
It does. I'll agree with that.
Thank God.
Yeah, so he was finally chose to record the album. The band recorded Shadows of Your Love as a test to see how it would work out with them and Mike. And I have more, but a lot of it's just shit that I took off Wikipedia, because I don't know. I have a hair across my ass about Guns N' Roses at the moment.
Yeah, you're putting me to sleep. Fee, what do you got?
kind of with you, Ed, but no. It's I kind of went down the album artwork rabbit hole a little bit. I thought that was pretty cool. If you guys saw that original cover work, it kind of looked like the Use Your Illusion cover, like the way it was framed and everything like that. But it had that painting from Robert Williams, called Appetite for Destruction. And I guess the record stores wouldn't put it on shelves because it was like a metal rapist robot type thing about to get like destroyed by some metal Avenger or something like that. I don't know,
love it.
something really
I love
fucking weird. But only Guns N' Roses. But I do love the cover of this album, and I did not realize this is that, you know, when it was replaced with that Celtic cross with all the band members on it and they're like skulls and all of that, that the knotwork in the cross was a tribute to Thin Lizzy, and like, who knew? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was kind of an interesting little nugget there. And then yeah, in that the original artwork was a symbolic statement about the industrial system raping and polluting the environment. So, you know, we're talking like 35 years ago at this point, systemic issues in hair metal, like, and I can't even really call this hair metal, honestly, no. But you know, like, who knew that activism was alive and well in like mid 80s hard rock, you know, which was crazy. So either way, I thought that was pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. You know what's funny about the artwork for this?
Yeah.
I remember people going to the concert and coming back, and this artwork was like the shirt everyone bought.
Yeah.
And everyone would go to school with it, and everyone had to turn it inside out. Because of the whole rape scene.
But let's be honest. This is a painting that Axl Rose got his eyes on, and he just loved the image. This had nothing to do with any political statement. Axl wasn't trying to say anything. He was just like, that looks fucking cool. Let's put it on the album.
I don't think they were sober enough to think that.
Right. So yeah. But Ed, you know, you were talking about those other songs. Fuck those other songs. You put one different song on this album or take one song off this album, and it's not the masterpiece it is. We're going to get into it. Okay,
there are a couple songs I'd take off.
Dave, did you want to do a couple more facts?
Yep, I got a little bit more. The artist who designed the tattoo that the cross and skulls design that they made into the album artwork, his name is Billy White Jr. Cool. I also found information which indicates they knew in advance that the original cover was going to be a problem. So from what I saw, it sounds like they printed the first 30,000 with the original cover. Then after that, switched right over to the cross and skulls. I looked it up. An original 1987 band cover vinyl now sells for up to close to $300 on eBay.
I had one. I bought that originally, that album.
Nice.
I don't have it anymore.
And my last one is that Guns N' Roses were trendsetters. When they came out, bands like Poison, Bon Jovi, and Motley Crue were at the top of the charts. And as soon as GNR broke big, all those bands traded in their eyeliner, big hair, and leopard print blouses for a more toned-down street look of denim and leather. Yep. They also moved 1 million guitars for Gibson when all the shredders ditched their pointy BC Rich and neon color Kramer guitars for Les Pauls.
Yeah, when Guns N' Roses came out with that look, it looked so Greenwich Village. It looked so real. It looked so fucking authentic. And when the bands like fucking Poison and Warrant and even Motley Crue tried to do it, it just looked fucking gay and fake, and I hated it.
They all jumped on the bandwagon.
It was pathetic. At least like Bon Jovi was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do my thing. I'm good with all that. Like, I'll give him props, you know? Fucking those other suck. All right, let's do some opening thoughts. So here we go. This album changed an entire genre of music. Overnight, it changed how all the top and upcoming bands presented themselves visually and musically. It changed how we all dressed, and it single-handedly killed sales on the Aquanet pink can. The album was a fucking atom bomb, dropped on the spandex wearing, pink lipstick wearing, giant sticky hair having, bubblegum songwriting, glam hair metal music scene. It left bands scrambling to reinvent themselves overnight. It was dangerous, and it was laced with the best lyrics I'd ever heard in my entire life. To this day, this album blew my mind and still does.
So what happened to you then?
What do you mean?
You had the biggest fucking Aquanet hair, dude. That hair that we seen.
Listen, I could post a picture of me, the one that everyone's seen, and I think it would shock the listeners. So yes, I was guilty of all of those crimes, but I converted, and I did it much cooler. Okay.
Fair enough.
Dave, opening thoughts. Have you ever heard this album before?
I think so. Okay. I sure have. I was 12 when this came out. I was unfortunately not hooked into the rock and roll underground yet at that point to know about them in advance before they blew up. So the first exposure I had to this band was my underground radio station in New Jersey, the college radio station 89.5 WSOU, Seton Hall Radio, and the Welcome to the Jungle video, which I assume came out some time after the album was released. They were, of course, super badass. So here I go and truck myself over onto the Woodbridge Center Mall to Sam Goody's to go get the album on cassette. All of a sudden, these guys are all over MTV, in the rock magazines like Hit Parader and Rip, and even in the guitar magazines I had started getting since I was just starting to play guitar. Soon after, I got the t-shirt with the logo on the front that says Guns N' Roses was here, seemingly spray painted on the back. I wore out that tape in my off-brand Walkman while I walked my newspaper route. I was in the first generation of kids attempting to play the Sweet Child of Mine riff at the guitar shop. Sorry. I still love this album today.
Dave, I got this album literally 1 month before I jumped on a plane and flew out to San Francisco to follow my dreams as a fucking failed rock star.
Nice.
This thing came out literally 2 months before my 18th birthday. And the minute I turned 18, I was fucking gone. Living like a trash can in the sleaziest part of fucking San Francisco you could live in. 6th and Mission. It was fucking, lived right across from a fucking porn shop and a dirty movie place. And, I loved
Nice.
it. Ed, have you ever heard this album before preparing for the podcast?
No, I haven't.
I have to ask.
Honestly, if anyone's not heard this album and they're, let's say, I don't know, 40 years or older, shame on them.
Yeah.
This is it, honestly, when this came out, it blew everyone's mind. I loved it when it first came out. It still holds up fairly well. I don't have as much of a hard on as you do for it.
Oh, so hard.
Woo. But it's great, and I'm such a huge fan of Duff. I think Duff is really what changed everything for me, because like all the bass lines, like growing up, my dad taught me guitar and bass, and it was always you got to learn Entwistle, you got to learn all the great guys from Led Zeppelin, The Who, Cream, Jack Bruce, all these guys. And then all of a sudden, as I'm learning newer music, the bass lines got simpler and simpler and simpler. And I'm like, oh. And then all of a sudden I heard this and I'm like, wow, finally a great moving bass line throughout. So yeah, it changed me a lot hearing that.
And it's so moving, but it's also so present. Like,
Yes.
you have no
Right
trouble
up front.
hearing this bass.
No, it's right up front.
Holy shit.
And
It's so fucking good.
I remember I forget what it was, like probably history or Decline of Western Civilization Part 2 or something, where someone was talking about how Duff plays with a pick and how it was so you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, dude, that's why his bass is cutting through everything. That pick. Oh
Yeah.
kudos to him.
The payoff is you lose a little of the warmth, but who gives a fuck? I'm all set.
Yeah, you don't need it on that album, on this
No.
album.
Fee, talk about the album. Why you love it so.
We'll get to that throughout each of the tunes, but I can't believe this was released in '87, and I don't know that I even heard it in '87, or if I did, it was late in '87. Like, it wasn't as big right off the jump, obviously, from some of the stuff we were reading on, and but I mean, it's a life-changing album for people, and it's fucking weird, like there are certain things like. Remember that old show? I can name that tune. It's like, oh, you hear it. Oh, I can name that tune in 2 notes. You know what I mean? Like, you just instantly know what it is, where it is on the album, the whole thing. It's unforgettable. But I couldn't believe it was '87 because it sounded like a dirtier version of like Out of the Cellar or something. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like heavy, just good fucking rock. Like just. It definitely wasn't what was being released for those types of bands at that time, so good for them. But I recently, and Ed, I don't even know if we talked about this on vacation or not, because some foggy times, you know. But this other guy we went to high school with, that neither of us really hung out with a ton, but he just messaged me on Facebook like 3 weeks ago, and he's like, and all it says is Appetite. He's like, dude, that album changed my life. I'll never forget. I ran into you at Mobile Mart, and you're like, come with me. And we went and smoked a joint, and you're like, listen to this, and just press play. And it changed my fucking life. And I was like, holy shit, that's
so good.
That's powerful. You know what I mean? Like this dude went from like being like one of the like preppy boys in school to like being a guitar player, you know, after that. So it was good stuff. Good stuff, but good album. Looking forward to talking about it.
This album, there's something about this album. It's this magical thing that happens. It is so rare, like Led Zeppelin 1, maybe. Like one of these albums that like makes you feel a certain way when you're listening to it. You know, you're not just listening to another album. Like it's so deep and full of life and just okay. Let's get into the track breakdown. Here we go. Welcome to the Jungle, track number 1. And I listened to this as if I was listening to it for the first time. Obviously, these songs have been worn out a bit, especially Welcome and Sweet Child of Mine, but I didn't let that influence my listen. So, of course, I love this song. What's not to love? From the amazing intro to the filthy lyrics, written by Axl Rose and delivered like a switchblade in a street fight. But more importantly, this was the second release off the album behind It's So Easy, and the first video released, which literally set the MTV switchboard on fire at 4 a.m. on a Sunday and launched the song to number 7 on the Billboard 200 and shot Appetite for Destruction into orbit. This is a 100-watt song all day, and that's why they played it every sporting event 30 years later. Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a song about their adopted hometown, Los Angeles. It exposes the dark side of the city that many people encounter when they go there to pursue fame. According to Slash, the song was written in approximately 3 hours, and it was really the first thing they all collaborated on. The legend is that Axl hitchhiked to LA and a truck driver drove him. When Rose got out of the truck driver said, "Welcome to the jungle." This was the second single from the album. In 2009, it was named the greatest hard rock song of all time by VH1. The song opens with some echo guitar from Slash. In the studio, they used a Roland Rack Effects unit for that. Live, he used a Boss delay pedal to achieve that effect. This is not the wall of guitars, overproduced rock that we were used to at the time. Izzy and Slash's guitars were panned left and right. Everything was very clear, and you could hear what everyone was playing. Smartly, they recorded at a faster tempo than the original demo, so it did not drag. The music changes often and doesn't give you a chance to get bored. Of course, the classic breakdown section happens in the middle with Axl screaming, "You know where you are, you're in the jungle, baby, you're gonna die."
Oh, so good.
Also hearing some cowbell. This was a retro thing that nobody was using at the time. After Guns N' Roses got huge, every drummer went out and got a cowbell.
Yep.
This song was also featured in the final Dirty Harry movie in 1988's The Deadpool, and the Guns guys have short cameos in the movie.
Yeah, do you know who played the Axl Rose part in that movie?
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Holy shit, that was such a miscast. He was awful in that role. Ed, what do you got?
I actually went to the movie theater to see that movie.
Oh shit, I love that. I love that.
Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah, this is it's an absolute iconic guitar riff opening. I mean, like Fee said, name that tune, you hear the first two notes, like, oh, welcome to the jungle. There's no getting around it. You know what? But after the opening, man, that groove kicks in, and the song is just got you at that point. It really just flows. If you pay attention to little different parts of the recording, you will totally understand the brilliance that is Izzy Stradlin. When it first came out, I didn't get Izzy, and as I started to really listen to it, I'm like, oh my God, Izzy's phenomenal. Like, I just think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk a lot about Izzy through this as well as Duff, because I think the two of them really are the standouts in this band.
Hold everything together.
Yeah, honestly, they do. But yeah, I think they're both the unsung heroes, and I really think Duff and Steve laid down a solid backbone for this song in the band throughout this whole album. But yeah, Welcome to the Jungle. As many times as I heard this, this is one song I'm still not sick of. I think it's a brilliant song, but like Dave just said, it's got the breakdown, it's got all these changes that keep you from getting bored. What I realized by the end of this album, the second time listening through it for this podcast, that is their formula. Because every song does the exact same thing.
But
and
differently.
I'm like, not really.
I think so.
Not
I think so.
that-
I don't think
not-
two songs sound the same on this album. I think every song has its own personality and its own character.
They do, but they all have the same exact formula. It's
a
almost
formula.
It's not like now I hear it and I'm like, oh my god, this is like a Nickelback album where it's just
Oh, dude, if I could smack
key
you through the
change,
screen,
key change. I mean, there are songs they have like 8 key changes in. It's like, what's the point? What is the point of that? There's no point.
don't ever say Nickelback with Guns N' Roses. That's horrible.
You're welcome.
He said Nickelback.
Yeah,
He said Nickelback.
formulaic bands.
Okay.
This is now once I heard the formula, I can't unhear it. I'm sorry.
Listen,
This
the
whole
formula
album
is
is a
there.
formula.
It's fine. It's a good formula. It's like original Coke. Fee.
'Cause that's what drugs and alcohol do to you, dude. You find something that fucking works and you think it's original every time, so they did it 12 times. But no, they're of course this is a fucking playlist song. It's a 100-watt song. Used at every sporting event, used everywhere across the thing. Just a quick, actually 2 things. One thing I wanted to bring up in the intro that I totally forgot. I don't know how much you guys listen to Hair Nation on on satellite radio lately, but there's been one of the like cuts, between tracks with Stephen Pearcy saying how he hung out with Steve Adler, and when he brought over the demo of this album to Stephen Pearcy's house to just hang out and chill and listen to it, Stephen Pearcy instantly looks at him and just goes, "You guys are going to be fucking huge." And sure enough, not long later they are. So, and I love Steve Pearcy, so I had to get some rat in somewhere, But the other thing, I went to school at UConn, and there was this dorm called the Jungle. It was nicknamed the Jungle. That supposedly, when this album came out, like they called that dorm the Jungle because it was just out of fucking control. And I always, always, always wanted to get a room there. And when I finally got close and like got into the building to like go to some dorm party in there, it was like the most mellow thing in the world. I was completely disappointed. Apparently by the mid-90s, the Jungle was dead. I don't know. So
Fucking incense burning, men blowing each other. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Holy shit. All right.
Yeah.
Sophie, it's a playlist all day long. 100 watts.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
track number 2. It's So Easy. This was the first single released off the album. The lyrics were written by Duff and the late West Arkeen. I love this song. It is so aggressive, and the bass lines and drums in the intro, oh my god, dude, it's some of the best I've ever heard. It is ridiculously rude. It's and Steven fucking doing his thing on that snare drum. Oh my god. This track, from a music standpoint, for me, it's the perfect mix of like rock and like not hardcore punk like G.G. Allen or something, but you know what I'm saying. Like it straddles the line, it goes over the edge of rock, and it dips its toe into the punk pond. And Axl will do it a few times on the album. He delivers a perfect vocal for this hybrid rock punk song. It is 100 watts all day. Dave, what do you got?
Yes, the song opens with Duff's energetic bass lick. According to an interview published in Hit Parader in March 1988, the song is an account of the time the band was going through. They didn't have any money, but they had a lot of hangers-on and girls they could basically live off of. Things were just too easy. There's an emptiness. It's so easy. In an Eddie Trunk interview from 2006, Axl Rose said that the song was originally written as an acoustic song and that it was Slash's decision to turn it a little more rockin'. Slash's rhythm borders on metal. Axl telling an unnamed spectator to fuck off was hugely appealing to teens.
Nice. Dave, didn't they re-record this for Lies, the album?
No, this
This
was You're Crazy. They
Oh,
did,
You're Crazy.
acoustic.
That's right. You're right. It's You're Crazy. Ed, what do you got on this one? 100 watts, right?
The song, yeah. I mean, this is
Oh, yeah.
a great song. It's one of the easiest bass openings to a song, but it is also kick ass. I still do this at every sound check, at every gig.
Nice.
Just oh god, it just yeah. Oh. The song is just all attitude right out of the gate. I played this song in a band a long time ago, and every time I played it, it was like doing an 8-ball and then running like a madman through a gazillion people. It's just pure adrenaline. I love it. The verse is driving. The pre-chorus brings it right down, and then the chorus just takes you right off again. The song ends with what I didn't notice until today, which seems to be a bit of their formula with a descending guitar riff. It's not so much in all the songs, like some of the other things with the key change and the breakdown in the middle, but as many times as I played that and know that there's a descending guitar riff, hearing all the album back to back, the songs, I was just like, ah, shit, they do that a lot. That's kind of, they end too many songs, I guess, that way, for my opinion. But yeah, this is a 100-watt song. I absolutely love it.
Nice. Hey, what do you got?
Yeah, great tune. We'll playlist it. This is Axl singing this, right?
Yes.
Why doesn't he use his voice more?
Oh, he does. It's in there. It's sprinkled.
I mean, it's sprinkled, but like, my biggest part with Guns N' Roses and why I can't listen to anything after this album is his fucking voice is like, reminds me of like nails down a chalkboard, shrill fucking, you know?
Yeah, after this album, I'm with you after this album.
And it's in pieces on this, but like the way he does the verse during this with that really dip, I don't know. I love it. I think it's fucking great. And I wish he would have done more of that on some of the, more of the verse, throughout the album instead of some of that like shrill, whiny screaming that he does. But yeah, play this tune. I like it.
Nice. Track number 3, Night Train. Well, this song introduced me and all my delinquent friends to cheap wine. Did we like Night Train? No. Did it give us hangovers from hell? Yes. But Guns N' Roses made it cool to drink. It was cheap, so we drank it. As for the song, built on aggressive vocals with incredible lyrics, spinning a tale that got me excited as a young man and still keeps me excited to this day. Axl is singing this one with such style and attitude. It is fucking sick. When I was listening to it today, I listened to it one more time for the show. I didn't remember his pronunciation on some of these words and how he was belting this out. It is fucking, it's just no other word I can say. It's sick. Slash delivers another cool solo over another kicked up, cool, kind of different rhythm section, which Ed is part of the formula on the album. They use it in every single song. They'll give him his own little thing to do, but I love it. I fucking love it. It's so much better than like CeCe DeMille playing the solo over the chorus to "I Won't Forget You." No, naughty. I want that. Yeah, it's so good. It's a fucking masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. The whole album's a masterpiece. Track 1 to track 12, literally any song could be my favorite song. This is 100 watts. Dave, what do you got?
These guys have a seemingly unlimited bag of tricks. Check out the guitar harmony intro that sounds anything but cheesy. Many other bands of the time who might attempt something similar would slide right into Cheesetown. More cowbell too. This was the 5th single from the album, released a few days after the album had been out for 2 years. Night Train, if you don't know, was an ultra-cheap rot-gut hobo wine, booze that hits like a freight train rolling at top speed that they were apparently big fans of, and so were probably all of us. It had a high alcohol content and was just a few bucks a bottle when you couldn't afford the good stuff. Unfortunately, it has been discontinued.
Do you know why?
I've been looking for it for years.
Okay, so Night Train got you so drunk because it had ash in it and it would plug up your kidney and your livers. You wouldn't piss as much and you would stay drunk longer and it would fuck you up. It was horrible. And it had
Nice.
a killer label. Killer label. Okay,
Yep.
sorry.
At their infamous 1988 Ritz show broadcast on MTV, they played at the Ritz in New York. Slash introduced the song by claiming it's not about drinking or drug addiction. It's about a walk in the park. Huh? How
Nice.
cute. Fun fact,
Nice.
Izzy plays the first half of the guitar solo. The
Mm.
song rules and ends with Slash ripping it up on guitar.
Have you guys heard Izzy's first solo album?
Yep.
Oh, dude, Ed, go listen to it. It's fucking
will.
good. It's
I
fucking
will.
good. It's really good. I mean, it's very rock and roll, like kind of trying to be a bit like maybe Rolling Stones sort of vibe, but
That's fine.
really good. I love it. What do you got on this one though?
Right out of the gate, another kick-ass song, 3 for 3. I think this is actually the best out of the 3 songs. It just moves. It has a really good vocal melody with lots of dynamics in the music. It's another great guitar riff. Once you hear it, it is stuck in your head for days. And Duff absolutely dominates on this song and is extremely underrated as a bass player.
What do you think of the
Love this song.
drums? What do you think of the drums?
They're good. I like Steven Adler as a drummer. The one pet peeve I think he hits cymbals way too many times.
Mm,
Like it seems like every 4th beat he's hitting a cymbal. I'm like, dude, you don't need to do that many accents.
yeah.
That's really my only issue with it.
I under accent with a cymbal when I write my own music. I'm sparing with the cymbals.
Yeah.
Fee, what do you got? I know you love it. Tell me.
I like this song. I don't necessarily love it. And I feel like fucking Axl's voice is just fucking whining me out by the end of it. But one kind of question I had for you guys was, as I'm listening to Slash just rip it up at the end of this tune, what would this song have sounded like if Tracy Guns was still in the band?
Equally good.
Not
I
too
think.
far off.
Yeah.
Really?
Tracy
Really?
Gunn's very good. Tracy Gunn's a very good guitar player.
I don't know, just a different sound and different feel. I feel when I listen to like LA Guns versus this, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just
No, Fee, it would definitely be different. It would definitely lose some of the Aerosmith, Joe Perry, type feel
Yeah.
we're getting. But Tracy Gunn's fucking still rock this shit.
okay.
He'd be in
alright.
the ballpark.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like Tracy Guns as a guitar player better than Slash.
No, listen,
Really?
listen. Don't make me
Wow.
mute your mic, okay? Don't make me mute your mic. I will mute that mic. I will
I
mute
like
that
Slash,
mic,
but I think
Nickelback.
he's very sloppy. I think he's very overrated.
I don't know.
I don't want him clean and perfect. That's not how that sounds good.
I'm not saying clean. I'm just saying sloppy.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay. B, is this a playlist song for you?
It's close. It's close.
Okay.
It's close.
I'm going to
It's
take
like
that as a yes.
playlist music, not quite playlist vocal.
Listen, let's bring you and your little buddy back behind the fucking Quickie Mart, listening to this on the boombox on your little cassette tape when you're fucking like, you gotta hear this. It changes to like, you gotta go back there. Okay?
No, I know. Well, if I go back there, this is a 100-watt album, but I need a
Because it
little
is a
controversy in
100-watt
my
album.
life.
We're talking 1987. We're going to look at it like it's 1987. Little Fee still has hair. Okay, here we go. Track number 4. Fee, did you ever have long hair?
Yeah, kind of like shoulder lengthish anyway, you know?
Was it
Yeah.
like full?
Yeah, it was always kind of thin, but not like, yeah.
Like Richie Keys probably. He had like decent hair when it
No.
all started.
Fee definitely had more hair than Richie Keys.
Really? So Fee,
Yes.
you had a pretty lush little head of hair there back in the mid 80s.
I did all right.
He had a good quaff.
Did you hear him? He said I did all right. Okay. I love it. I fucking love it. I'm fucking so glad I plucked this guy up for the show. Okay, here we go. Track number 4, Out to Get Me. The title says it all. Again, Axl is spinning a tale and delivering a story that just kicks ass. It's so raw. And again, Slash changed it up in the solo section and brought a trashy punk vibe to the lead that feels so genuine. As a 17-year-old kid, these lyrics spoke to me. And as a budding songwriter myself, I felt overwhelmed and beyond inspired to start my life's adventures and write my own Appetite for Destruction, which I still haven't done. These songs blew my mind and still blow my mind to this day. This is a 100-watt song. It is fucking killer. I can only hope to ever write a song this good. Dave, what did you think?
Kick-ass guitar riff to start this one off. This is the Damn the Man song. Izzy brought in the main riff and title. The rest of the band filled in the remaining. Slash reports the song was written inside one afternoon. The lyrics were inspired by real-life events of the band being late for a show because of getting pulled over for some police harassment. And Duff also recounted a time where the cops busted down their door one night looking for Axl for something he did not do. Great song of teenage rebellion.
100 watts. Ed, what do you got?
Oh, yeah.
This is the first filler song for me.
It is not.
Yes, 100%.
Dope.
I feel like it sounds like Tracy Guns wrote the song and then they just made it even worse. I feel it lacks the energy that the first three songs had. And I'm not talking like speed or anything. It's just when I hear it, I don't get that same energy as the previous three songs. I think it's a good hook. I think Izzy and Duff have solid parts throughout the song, but I think the rest is lacking. And for fuck's sake, why do they change the key to the song so many goddamn times? It's distracting. I find it just takes away from the song. I also really don't like the lead guitar parts in this song. I find the tone to be poor and the playing extremely sloppy. Yep, don't like it.
Oh, dude,
It
it's
does just had
him.
a stroke.
dude,
It's done. It's over.
dude, just you can't call this a filler song. It starts off been hiding out and laying low. It's nothing new to me.
No, I think it's a fucking fillers. Dez, you were also ready to give fucking Dangerous Toys 100 fucking watts.
Listen, don't bring that up. It's the past. I don't live in the past. I live in the now. You know, evolved as a human being since then. You guys talking me off the ledge. Fee, come on, man. Don't let me down.
I'm kind of with that on this, but I do like the song. You know, one thing that I'm liking at this point in the album is the use of the F word throughout the album. Like they use the word fuck a lot, and it's not really like in a school setting when a kid says the word fuck, they're just trying to get your attention. Like, fuck you, Mr. Richardson. You know, what? Oh, you know, like trying to get your attention kind of thing, right? But not here. It's just it kind of goes with the flow, you know. It's the natural, their natural way they speak, you know. Like I picture if I'm talking to these guys, they'll just be like, "Fucks up, dude," you know. Nothing, man. Fucks up with you, you know. Like it just, I picture that's the way they go, and I love it when people can kind of use it that way and not to just kind of get your attention, you know. So I think it's good.
Fee, we did Breakfast Club, and it was funny. Just quickly, we were talking about the scene where Bender's in the closet with the principal, and the principal's like, "Just take a shot. Just give me one fucking shot." And then he's, you know, and they're like, "He's a prick." So I'm like, you know what though? I'm like, Izzy. I'm like, teachers are so underappreciated, and they have to fucking raise other people's kids that don't fucking pay any attention to their kids. They come to school and take it out on this poor fucking teacher, and he's got no tools to. I'm like. I see it through the principal's eyes. That kid needed a fucking slap in the face, right?
Yeah.
Feet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Teachers should be able to fucking
Dez, what school did you go to?
the Reese.
Just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
We lifted weights and smoked Marlboro Reds. Got a degree in
Waiting for the teacher to punch you.
Okay.
You went to the school where the teacher should have been allowed to punch you.
Oh, they were. They were fucking, prison guards that fucking beat your ass when the kids weren't beating your ass. All right, let's do this. Track number 5, Mr. Brownstone. Fee's brother went to the Reach too. He's my alumni. So there you go.
And he will not deny that he probably deserved a punch in the face quite often.
Oh, I said that on the podcast. I said I deserved a punch in the face from several teachers. And even back when I went to school, I got my arm grabbed, yanked out of a chair, and tossed out into the hall. I mean, and that was fine. My mother's like, you should have punched him in his fucking dumb head. Okay, Mr. Brownstone. This song is a dirty peek into the world of addiction. And what I love about the lyrics is that they feel like a cautionary tale from real life experience. Again, whole band working together to make this energetic, loose, full, dark, classic rock and roll sound that I had never heard before and have never heard since. I've never heard an album that sounds like Appetite for Destruction, ever. I've heard bands try. For Skid Row, nothing. Skid Row, nothing. Even fucking Aerosmith, fucking Toys in the Attic. No, doesn't sound like this. It's its own thing. It's its own monster. Slash and Izzy bringing the killer guitar riffs to this album. And like Dave said, panned left, panned right. You can hear every fucking note. Izzy Stradlin's guitar sound is the guitar sound that fucking everybody should be striving to get. It's incredible. 100 watts all day. Incredible. Dave, what do you got?
Good old song about capital D drugs. Brownstone is a slang term for the heroin.
Oh, yeah.
As mentioned before, this was the first single as a double A side along with It's So Easy. We got a Bo Diddley beat, some wah-wah guitar. Slash states it was the first song the band wrote after being signed by Geffen Records. Him and Izzy wrote it, brought the lyrics to Axl on the back of a grocery bag. Another story says Axl found a scrap of paper with the early lyrics when they were moving out of a band apartment. Listen closely in the right speaker, there's even some bongo drums on the track. Later in 1989, while opening for the Rolling Stones, Axl would introduce the song by calling out an unnamed band member for a little too much dancing with Mr. Brownstone. Hint, it was Slash.
Nice.
Duff states in his book, once Axl took his concerns public, the times of being a gang, us against the world were over. We played the rest of the show, but it was half-hearted effort at best. Afterward, and really for the remainder of our career, we just went our separate ways. That night officially rang the bell for an end of an era in GNR. But it's a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song because Slash didn't write it to be cool like Dr. Feelgood. Like, this is our drug song. It's so edgy and cool. No, it's not edgy and cool. It's fucking gay. Slash's fucking drug tale is edgy and cool. Thank you. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. Ed, what do you got?
And we're back. Great riff and groove. Absolutely drive this song. The vocal lyrics and melody are fantastic. This is one of the best songs on the album. I just love it.
I agree.
I couldn't even describe it. It's just this is definitely the 100-watt song for me.
Oh, it's so fucking good. It's so good. Okay. And we haven't even got to my wife's favorite song on the album yet. Fee, go ahead.
Dude, I'm with you. This is a 100-watt song, and this is one of those kind of forgotten ones that doesn't really get the airplay, even on some of the Boneyard or Hair Nation or whatever. But this is a great fucking song, and more of that vocal I like in the verse, and I don't know. It's one of the tops on the album for sure.
It fucking kicks ass. Track number 6, Paradise City. Come on, guys. Guys, let's all have a hug. Let's all just hug around this. Ed, stop doing that. I'll shut your video right off. I'll turn this podcast around. Take it back to the bus stop. Paradise City. This was the 4th single released off the album, and in my opinion, one of the greatest songs ever written and ever recorded. And I stand behind that statement. This song is dude, if I wrote this song,
it would be terrible.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Sorry, you served that one up.
I did. It shot to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song was written by the entire band in a shitty van while traveling back to LA from a keg in San Francisco. This is how you write a song, from its amazing intro riff all the way to the blazing outro section. Slash's guitar solo is straight fucking fire, as the kids say today. And of course, the vocals and chorus are literally as good as it gets. And then you cap that with this fucking video. I mean, this video was what made that dipshit from Tesla go out and buy a white leather suit, okay? It fucking influenced everybody. It's fuck yeah, okay? If I could give this a higher score than 100 watts, I would, but 100's gonna have to do. Dave, what do you got?
This is the only song on the album to feature a synthesizer. We won't hold that against them. Some clean picked guitar chords and layers of Axl's vocals turn into a stadium shaking rock song. Slash's first solo has a little octave effect on it where he actually played the lower octave part rather than using an effects unit to cheat it. The song kicks into double time at the end with Slash absolutely tearing it up on guitar. For most, if not all of his parts, he used a custom-made Les Paul style guitar and a modified Marshall amp rented from SIR Rehearsal Studios in LA that we talked about last time, formerly taken on tour by George Lynch of Dokken.
Awesome stuff. I love it. Yeah, just so fucking good. Ed, what do you got?
This song was great when I first heard it, but it does not hold up for me at all.
Oh, stop it.
There are a lot of great things that come in small bits throughout the song, but I find everything in this song is just not up to the level of the better songs on this album.
What the-
The hook is monstrous, but I find the verse melody just not good. I'm not a fan of some of the lead guitar parts. Again, I just feel they're sloppy. But Duff, my hero. He is absolutely my hero on this song. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. It barely did it when it came out, and it got worse as it aged, in my opinion.
Oh, God. He's sitting in the city gas chamber. Why he's there, he just can't remember. The Surgeon General says it's hazardous to breathe. He'd have another cigarette, but he can't see. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Take me down to the Paradise City.
Don't care.
Fee. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fee. Talk some sense into this, man.
I love this song.
love
A
this
total
song.
100-watt playlist for me. But one thing I never knew, like when I listen to the lyrics, I focus a little more on lyrics now, like for the podcast, than I ever did in my entire life. One of the verses starts with Captain America. Did you guys know that?
I like it.
I had no idea. Like, do you think these guys were like comic book fans as kids or something like that? Or like,
I don't know.
like-
I think it
I don't
just
know.
fucking sounded cool, and they were like, "Yeah, Captain fucking America."
Oh man.
Oh my god!
Tell me
you're
there's deeper
such a
meanings to
trendy
shit than
douche.
just it fucking sounded cool. I don't know.
I fucking hope so. I don't know. I know it does.
And Dave, no, I was thankful you brought that up about the the equipment that George Lynch had used before. Was it only this track, or was it throughout the album?
Whole album, as far as I know.
All right, cool.
Awesome. So the intro synth that we know Axl supposedly played on this. So it's, you guys know, it's not my favorite sound. I don't like this 80s synth added into heavy metal. It really just kind of gays it up for me. But with this one, like, okay, so in a perfect world, like if I was going to listen to Paradise City and I just wanted to, like, eat an edible, I want a Rhodes. Give me a Rhodes organ there, like, the real cool 60s, 70s Rhodes. But for this song, I give it a pass. This arena rock synth just sets this fucking tune up. Ugh. Okay. Side. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead,
was just gonna say it was mixed in there, not too upfront to
Yeah.
where it's super distracting. So
Yeah.
that kind of saved it.
It did. But a Rhodes, like the way the Black Crowes would have done it, they would have had a much cooler organ in there. So,
Yeah.
Okay. And fucking Guns N' Roses. Side R. This is fucking great. So this is where we flip the album over. I really have just been working like a fucking dipshit and getting punched in the face at the gym. And I know you and Fee went on a solo sleeping bag tour. How did that go? Anything fun happen?
Listen, gay loving takes time.
Yeah. One sleeping bag, two dudes.
Oh shit! That's fucked
The
up.
video to come soon.
All right.
I wonder why we have an 87% male viewership. God, just what? I think I need to say this for the record. None of us are gay.
No.
Okay, just
No.
in case, like someone off in Copenhagen was like, I think I listened to gay music show. Not that there'd be anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's fine. It's just not what this show is. Just so everybody knows. Okay. It's made it weird by explaining that. See,
Yeah.
OnlyFans is on the way.
Fee, how do you follow that up?
I don't know.
So somebody tell us a story that's fucking fun. What happened? Come on, something had to have happened.
I'll tell you something. So first off, LA was great for what it was. It took me this long to finally live my 80s Sunset Boulevard dream, where we went, drank at the Rainbow Bar all day, and then went to the Whiskey at night, got to see Steelheart.
Nice.
And the best part about that was them closing with this main song from Rockstar.
So
That was a
good.
great one of my favorite bass lines. It's such a cool bass line in that song. And dude, the guy can still hit the fucking notes. I was like, holy shit. But the real standout story, I think, and Fee, correct me if I'm wrong, was we get to Yosemite. We have the worst campsite possible.
Oh,
It's
shit.
on a hill full of giant rocks and trees, and we're like wedging tents in between these rocks and trees. Now, when we go camping, we drink a lot and do a shitload of edibles. And we know we get loud, and we go loud into the early morning. So we like to pre-warn all our neighbors. And I walk over to this couple that just, they showed up after we set up. They set up, and I walk over. I go, "Hey, excuse me." This guy turned around, and the look on his face was like I'm about to put an axe in his head.
Oh my
The
god.
look
thought
of
Ed was gonna
sheer
fucking kill him.
terror. And I'm like, I just want to let you know, if we get too loud tonight, just come on over. Say, "Hey guys, mind being quiet?" He looks at me and goes, "Don't be loud. Be quiet, and don't swear."
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
"What the fuck?"
Oh,
Sounds
shit.
like fun. Sounds like a Bon Jovi album.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" And literally, as I walk back, the ranger comes to check everyone into the sites, and he's like 20 feet away from us, going, "Could we find another site? I don't want to be near them."
Oh god. Oh shit. That's fucking awesome.
God. Yeah, he was a psycho.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was unbelievable.
The 2 nights they would not come out of their tent while we were in camp. They wouldn't. They just
That's
refused.
fucking
They just
great.
Yeah, they just stayed in their tent the whole time.
They couldn't
Look,
even see
excuse
us.
me, sir. Me and my friends are assholes, and we're gonna be on drugs. We're gonna be loud. There's gonna be some weird shit going on. Just come on over. Just come on over and
Yep.
just tell us, to keep it down,
Right.
and we won't. And yeah, thank you.
Or join the party. Up to you.
Or join
all
the
know
party,
the
right?
rules.
Mhm.
We all
Right.
know the rules. Dave,
Yeah.
anything going on in your life? You get a job at NASA yet, or anything good?
No, not yet. Still working on it.
Okay. Get the resume out there. If anybody's looking for a good Dave, contact the show. He's looking for a job.
Sure.
Okay. Track number 7, My Michelle. And in San Francisco, my girlfriend's name happened to be Michelle. She was a budding young actress. She was absolutely beautiful. She was a tomcat. All right, this track was written about a woman / actually knew. It's so dark and moody. The drums are so good on this track. For me, it's what the track is built on. I absolutely love this beat selection. I can remember hearing this and getting a feeling I'd never felt from a song before. It felt so serious and real and dangerous to my 17-year-old ears. I was like, these are experiences I have not had yet. But I want to. I'm ready. Let's do this thing. 100-watt song. Fucking love this song. Holds a special place in my heart. Dave, what do you got?
Spooky and dark sound to the opening music here. It was written by about a girlfriend of Axel's. Slash was friends with her when they were kids, and then Axel wound up dating her later on. She was a friend of the band. The first version of the song was sweet but not truthful. Axel decided to just go ahead and give it the honest treatment, and the other guys were kind of raising an eyebrow about that, and he went to her and she gave it her blessing to go for it. She didn't mind. Sleazy riffs, sleazy lyrics. There are parts halfway through the song where Axl's vocal starts to kind of sound like a Muppet. Uh, but I'll let that go for now.
Interesting story. It's something it pains my heart to share, but I'm going to. So this girl Michelle that I met in San Francisco, again, just stunningly beautiful woman. We ended up leaving San Francisco after the big earthquake, and we moved to Greenwich Village in New York, where we just lived the streets like Sid and Nancy. It was fucking awesome. Sleeping in pool halls and just whatever, just scrap bar, just insane kids. Like, I never do that now. Like, I get scared going to the fucking corner store on Saturday night because there's kids there. Okay, they kill you, these kids, these crazy kids. But yeah, and then we moved to Boston and eventually broke up, and she went back to California. So maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago, me and my wife were watching that show, Forensic Files. And unfortunately, she was the subject of this episode. She was murdered. Yep. Very sad.
Yikes.
Very sad. Yeah. Yeah. Just one of those things, you know. I'm like, holy shit, that's her. So anyway, rest in peace. Very sad situation. I know she left some kids behind and a sister and a brother. And yeah, just not about to bring the fucking show down, but I felt like I had to tell you guys. Okay. Whoever's up next, go. Fucking Gummy's kicking in. Like, good now. Strong. This one.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of gummies, I got some 20 milligram ones out in California.
Oh boy, that's too much.
Yeah. They were, not to sidetrack, but oh my God. I took it right before I went to bed.
A whole 20?
Yeah, the whole 20, not realizing that, I was only supposed to take half.
Oh, shit.
So I woke up in the middle of the night to pee, and it probably took me 5 minutes to walk across the hotel room to get into the bathroom because I hit everything in every wall before I made it to the bathroom.
You were spinning?
Oh, yeah, I got up and I had no, equilibrium. My balance was all, I'm like, whoa.
Had you drank too?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, my God. Oh, he's looking at fees like, hell yeah.
I was luggage.
Oh,
good night,
shit.
good night.
Wow.
All right, my Michelle. Standout bass and drum parts in the song. But again, over sloppy guitar part. No, it just doesn't. I don't know. The guitars are just bugging me. They've always bugged me for some reason. I don't know what it is specifically, but from the moment I first heard this album, something about the guitars bugged me. The verse kicks in, has a great haunting flow followed by a fast-moving chorus. This song is a great opening for the second side of the album. Love the song. Really good song.
Ed, the pacing and the song order is masterfully done on this record.
Oh, yeah.
Masterfully.
They paid attention.
Fee,
Yeah.
how much is the most edible you ever took at once?
At once?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
If you had to
don't know.
guess, ballpark it.
Probably 50.
Oh, shit. I fucking forget my name. You'd find me fucking sitting in a chicken coop next to fucking Chris Rock and Friday.
Well, I
You
don't
gotta
know what
remember,
I've,
Fee's a fish fan.
yeah, it's, I don't know what I've taken out of the trunk of a car, in a parking
I'm
lot.
still at
I have no
my
idea.
5 milligram limit. That's the most I've
Yeah.
taken at once is 5. I'm a
I
lightweight.
mean, Ed, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but those ones we were taking, those mints I had that we were just walking around town that day,
Those
was
are
a pretty,
two.
yeah, those were 2, and just pop one every, hour or 2.
Every
and
hour. Yeah, they were
Oh,
great.
shit.
We would pop 2 milligrams every hour, 90 minutes. It was
It
great.
was a good day. It was a good day. Yep.
I cap myself
Yes.
at 15 milligrams a day. That's the most I'll take. Usually more
we
like
blew
12.
that out of the water every day.
Yeah, but I do it
Yeah.
every day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it. But yeah, this tune's good. I like it. I don't, yeah, I just like it. I had no notes on it. I don't know why. This is the only song on the album that I didn't write something down on. So yeah, but I like it. I give it a pretty high score.
Cool. Okay, track number 8, Think About You. Okay, so I think this is a really cool, unorthodox take on a power ballad. Okay? hear me out. Its lyrics aren't overly mushy, and the music maintains an edge that keeps the track mysterious and dark. It opens with a cowbell, which is always a good thing. And like with Rocket Queen, we get a really melodic vocal full of amazing lyrics, like just the best lyrics. I just say that over and over on this album. I'm just blown away by these stories. And to close out the song, it has this ending. It's just like Ed said, sure, they do it like 10 times on this album, but I fucking love it. It's like a little mini song at the end of the song, right? It's what it is. A little tiny mini song. They give me an extra like bonus track on the end of every track. Bonus track. 100 watts all day. I fucking love this song. Love it. Dave, go.
The song was mostly written by Izzy, and he plays some lead guitar on the track. We got some nice acoustic guitar layered into the chorus too. Slash has said he was not really a fan of the song, but was pleased with the way the recording came out. The song was played often in their live shows early on, but once the record came out, wasn't really used anymore. It is, it's kind of cool, but has a nice contrast to some of the other material.
Yeah.
Good song.
Yeah. Interesting. Like I said, interesting take on the power ballad. Ed, what'd you think?
I'm torn by this song. I want to love everything about the song because I can see where they're trying to go, but it just doesn't get there for me. I think the song gets lost in the mix of the rest of this album. The guitar solo section is all over the place, and I think it really distracts from the song, from the solo, from everything. However, the absolute brilliant part that I never noticed until I listened for this podcast with headphones, the clean guitar or acoustic guitar, whatever's playing in the background of the chorus. Oh, I heard that and I got an erection. It was so good.
So good.
I just loved it.
I love the guitar solo, Ed. I couldn't disagree more. I love this guitar solo.
I'm not even talking. No, I'm talking the background behind the guitar solo was like, it's like they changed the key 1,000 times. It's like, okay, you hear, nope, now you're there. Oh, okay, now you're going here. It distracted me.
I loved it.
I didn't like
what
it.
a ride.
Didn't like it. Nope.
Hey, what'd you think?
This is the song I felt was a filler song on the album. It didn't work for me at all, really. Like on a re-listen, but like the solos I felt went kind of off the rails. And then when you have Axl with his like whininess and that's kind of in the background there, I was fucking annoyed by it by like my third time through on the album. But I still like the song. And here's kind of a theme with the whole album that we'll get to at the end. It's like I feel like all of these songs are written really well and played really well in a lot of ways. I don't know, Ed, I'd like to have more discussion about what you're hearing with the guitars and the sloppiness at some point, but that's for a different trip, But like this is one of those songs I'm with Ed. Like I want to really like it, but I really just got fucking annoyed by after listening to it several times. So just okay.
Okay. It was funny, Ed. My wife came up the other night and she's like, "Are you watching Steelheart?" I was watching them live. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, this is the best shows. These are great. They're fucking so much fun to watch. They say all sorts of like super inappropriate shit. They're awesome.
Funny story about that singer. Holy crap. He had 1,000-pound lighting rig hit him in the head.
Really?
Yeah. And that put him out for like years, which is why the band just stopped. And then he wound up being able to recover and his voice is fucking spot on. Great.
Dude, I thought he was dead.
Musicians.
He was great.
I thought he was dead.
I know 2 Steelheart songs, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, this is actually a pretty good show.
Like that. All right. And rumor had it that Slash tried out for Poison. Let's just say, God, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Everything worked out correctly.
Everything worked out the way it should, for sure. Yeah. Track number 9, Sweet Child of Mine. This one was tough for me to listen to because, as you guys know, it's a song that I avoid now, like Enter Sandman. But I had to bring it back to when I heard it for the first time and how it blew my mind. These lyrics, he's really painting a picture. This is quality songwriting. Ed, Stop. You're out of your mind with this. How can you
No,
not?
here's why you're out of your mind, Des.
Oh God. Oh God.
When you like something,
Oh,
you
yeah.
justify it every way possible. I'm going way back and I'm
My
listening
job.
to it like it's the first time. And if you don't like something that was great back in the day, you're like, this sucks. It doesn't hold up. Blah, blah, blah. So shut up with the hypocrisy.
You're like my wife. Here we are in the past again. I'm a new man. I'm telling it the way I see it.
I love you though.
So this was the third single release of the album. Axl wrote it about his then girlfriend, Erin Everly, and it immediately shot to number 1 on the Billboard 200. You know why? Because it's a fucking amazing song. That's why. Number 1. This is not an opinion. It's a fact, as Felger would say. This is some of the best guitar work I've ever heard. Ever. Slash, this second extended solo.
You need to
is one
just
of
shut
the-
your mic off now. I can't
No.
believe those words.
This
song is the best guitar work you've ever heard in your life.
Yes. Some of these guitar solos he's playing, some of
Shut
these runs.
Fuck up.
No, some of
Dave,
these
please.
runs he's
You gotta have my
playing.
back on that.
No, some of these runs he's playing on this second extended guitar solo are
You know what?
fucking.
I'm gonna pick a Led Zeppelin album next, just
This is-
so you guys can say, nope, not as good as the guitar on this song.
Okay, listen. First of all, there's nothing on that Led Zeppelin album that even touches this because Jimmy Page couldn't play this kind of guitar. Now,
I don't
was
even
there
like
some?
Led Zeppelin, and I disagree with you.
There were some creative, excellent guitar parts that Jimmy Page played, and his sound was, great, and I love it. But you're not going to tell me if you said, "Hey, buddy, try and recreate the end solo in "Sweet Child of Mine." Jimmy Page would say, "I can't," because he can't. So what my point is, it's like he's shredding
Oh my god!
in a classic rock style that I had never heard before. He had created his own thing here. He's shredding metal like Joe Perry would do it if he was going to do it. It was, I'm not going to go on and on. Let's just say it's fucking amazing. The drums, the bass, Izzy, true classic rhythm playing everywhere, 100 watts, incredible performance. Dave.
Yes. Woo boy, here we go. This is the infamous riff, which you can hear bad versions of on any Saturday afternoon in any Guitar Center in America. This riff was just a guitar warm-up lick that Slash was playing, reportedly. The other guys heard something in it and began to play along, devised some chords to go under it. Axl later took a poem that he wrote for his girlfriend and turned it into the song lyrics. Slash commented, "Within an hour, my guitar exercise had become something else." That he wrote that in his 2007 autobiography. Yes, you have the circus guitar lick and a nice sort of bass solo by Duff. Some extra guitars layered in there. Somebody knew this was going to be a hit. The song was recorded relatively quickly. However, since drummer Steven Adler did not play to a click track on, from what I understand, the whole album, it took a long time for Slash to get the timing right for the intro of the song so it would match up. Solo section is great. We got some more wah-wah action. That's one more thing that had fallen out of fashion with 80s rockers that Guns N' Roses brought back. Soon after, everybody needed a wah-wah effects pedal again. Slash even had his own signature wah pedal introduced in 2007, made by the Jim Dunlop Company. The rest of the song features more slick guitars.
Good.
Okay. There is a little bit of controversy that I found in the researching this, which I'd never heard about this before, but in 2015, the webpage of the Australian music TV channel Max published an article by music writer Nathan Jolly that noted similarities between Sweet Child of Mine and the song Unpublished Critics by the Australian band Australian Crawl from 1981. I've never heard of them. Duff has stated he had not heard the song before, but I have to wonder if one of the other guys did. I listened to it. Someone had to have heard it, at least subliminally, been influenced by it, because it is just too close. Go check it out. Judge for yourself.
Nice.
I've heard this song so many times over the years. I never want to hear it again. But it's been in movies and video games, covered by Sheryl Crow, and yes, even a light cover version appeared in a Johnson & Johnson commercial. Kill me.
Yeah.
But in 1987, this song was fucking mint.
Mint. Dude, if they had played To a Click, this album would not be as good. It's the emotion that
the
you're getting.
looseness.
Yeah, from Steven Adler. When he gets excited, he speeds up a little bit. When he's feeling, he slows down a little bit. And I'm just on the ride. And this is something we hardly ever see because everybody plays To a Click, live and in studio. So this is a dead breed of album. Ed.
Kill Me Now. This is probably the most annoying guitar riff ever written, with a great, simple, yet effective bass solo and groove that plays over it to make it tolerable. The best part of this song is the bass, so thank you, Duff. I was never a fan of this song when it came out the first time, and I've had to play it at every fucking show since then that I've ever played, which is more times than I care to admit. Nope. This is probably the most annoying guitar track on this album.
Oh my God.
Oh, it drives me up a wall.
Dude, that first guitar solo that he plays, it's inspired by Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street /
Don't care.
Said. And if you hear ba-na, ba-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na, dude, it's in there. It's so good. You're wrong. Fee, what do you got?
Yeah, God, I get torn on this because I like this song. I don't know. My only note on this was did any of you guys even listen to it? Because I know you, at least Des and Dave have mentioned before that you just don't want to fucking hear it ever again. So
I did.
Yeah, I
It was
listened
worth it
to it.
hearing that second solo. Hearing that second extended guitar solo, I was like, yeah, it was worth the listen. They cut that out on the radio, which pisses me off. It's the best part of the song. Sorry.
But yeah, 100-watt song in my opinion, but that's just me.
Nice. Oh, it's you and the rest of the world. Number one. Except for Ed.
minus Ed.
Minus Ed in his fucking sleeping bag, bothering his neighbors, trying to enjoy their vacation. Okay. Track number 10, You're Crazy. This is such a simple concept of a song, and that's what I love about it. And I try to just imagine like writing something this simple that's this good. We get 2 hot verses before we finally reach the chorus, Ed. So they're going to change the formula just a little for this one, just for you. Okay? I want a couple extra points on this album for that. So we get the 2 chorus verses before the crazy chorus. You're fucking crazy. That, again, as a 17-year-old kid, that fucking chorus hit my sweet spot. And it didn't sound cheesy. Like if this had been Warrant, this wouldn't work. Janie Lane couldn't say this. It wouldn't work. It's the attitude of this album. 100 watts. Dave, what do you think?
This song was originally composed on acoustic and then moved to electric, sped up to high volume. The acoustic version would appear on the future GNR Lies EP. Slash has said, when I play that song, I don't even know what I'm playing. He tells Hit Parader in 1988 that it's just such a kick in the ass for me, so I run around.
I love it.
Yeah, I love the guitar part in the middle where the guitars echo back and forth. Great solo. Slash is not afraid to show off his Joe Perry influence. Eventually, Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith would tour together. Slash would become friends with Joe and was even gifted Joe Perry's Toxic Twins t-shirt.
Nice.
Later on in the year 2000, for Joe's birthday, Slash gifted him the very same 1959 Les Paul that Joe was forced to sell in the early 80s.
Oh, it's such a
Very
great
nice.
story.
Yep.
So cool. Oh, I want that guitar.
You and me both.
Ed, go ahead.
This is a complete filler song.
Oh, Jesus.
This is 100% of what I don't like about LA scene songs. I feel like it's just mailed in. This is what's popular on the strip. Boom. Cookie cutter. We're done. I do remember loving this song when it came out and I was younger, but it just, nope, it didn't stick. I thought it just didn't age well. Dust Baseline is the only thing I can enjoy listening to this disappointment. I mean, I don't like this song at all.
Dave, you nailed it with those slapback guitars. They're so cool in the middle. Oh, yeah, that's so good. I just can't hear any negative fucking chatter on this album.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
Ed, did you go? I'm joking. Fee, go ahead.
No,
You're all done.
Ed, I know what you're saying a lot with this because I listen to a lot of this and I'm like, man, I'm like 50 now. You know what I mean? And this does not listen the same at 50 as it does at 17. You know, it just doesn't. But with that being said, my only note on this song is I love the simplicity, straightforwardness of the song. I don't know. I kind of liked it more and more as the week went on. So I gave it a playlist for me. I like it.
It's so fucking good. So good. All right. Number 11. You got to forgive me for being long-toothed tonight. Oh, God, I just couldn't wait to talk about this album. Okay. Number 11. Anything Goes. I've always loved the lyrics on this song. It's obviously one of those I'm a rock star who bangs chick songs, but it's done without sounding goofy like, I'm going to give you a for instance, Poison's Unskinny Bop, okay? That's their version of this song, and it's fucking, it sucks. And that's the charm of the entire album. The lyrics never sound like they're being written and delivered by some poser with no real-life experience, like almost every other fucking glam metal album. This is Rare Air at 100 watts. Dave, what do you got?
Anything Goes is one of their oldest songs, dating from the early 80s, rewritten at least once or twice, and reportedly the final verse lyrics only completed the night before they went into the studio to do the album. Cool sleazy riffs and even some guitar talk box, which, if you don't know, this is an effect that has a guitar amp feed into a rubber tube instead of a standard speaker cabinet. The output then is fed through the tube into the guitar player's mouth and then recorded with a microphone. Famous uses of it are Peter Frampton, Do You Feel Like We Do, Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, and of course Aerosmith's Sweet Emotion, / even guitar duels against himself in the solo. Pretty cool.
You like how we brought Sweet Emotion around, huh? This whole I put a lot of thought in this episode, boys. Okay, all right. Ed, what do you got? Good stuff, Dave, as always.
One thing I'm going to give this song is that the opening is super unique for this album. It's different. All the instruments are playing out of what the norm has been so far on this record, and I really like it. Great hook. I love the subtle change in the music from the verse to the chorus. I actually like this guitar solo. However, I wish there wasn't a talk box on it. I think it would have been just a little bit better without the talk box. It just doesn't work for me. What I really enjoyed is the little random staccato parts where it's like the little breaks and accents that it threw out. I thought they're really well done. I feel it adds really nice dynamics to the song. Great song.
Nice. Pete, what do you got on this one?
Yeah, same note as last song. I kind of enjoyed this more and more as the week went on, and it was just good. It was enjoyable. We'll playlist it. Fuck it, why not?
Nice. That little intro riff on "Sweet Child of Mine." For me, it feels like when he did the that song "Fall to Pieces" with Velvet Revolver. It's like another version of the "Sweet Child of Mine" riff.
Oh yeah,
but better. I think it's better. Dave, do you think it's better?
Refined. Yeah.
Fall to Pieces. Yeah, that's such a fucking sweet ass riff. All right, now we get to the final track on the album. Track number 12, Rocket Queen. So for me, this song is grossly underrated for Guns N' Roses, and it happens to be my wife's favorite song on the album, and it might be my favorite song too, but I can't really tell you for sure because I love them all. With it being a combination of a rocker and a ballad, it's a perfect ending to this album. The sex sounds were provided by Steven Adler's girlfriend during an in-studio sexual encounter. Unfortunately, Steven was not driving the train. Axl was, which caused a riff. Again, we get incredible drums. And honestly, Steven Adler, like I said before, underrated drummer, in my opinion. His playing on this entire album is over the top good. Just so interesting and just unorthodox and different. And I just loved it. The sound was different than anything I had heard. It didn't sound like Tommy Lee or Bobby Blotzer or, Mick Brown. It sounded completely different. And the unbelievably melodic vocal during the end segment of the song, it's solid gold. It gives me the feels. It's another 100 watts. I loved it. Dave, what do you got?
Moody, bass-heavy, atmospheric opening builds to a killer riff. My notes say this song may be the most underrated on the album.
Yes.
So I'm with you on that one. Slash and Duff had brought in the riff from a previous band. The groove grew out of a shared passion that Duff and Steven Adler had for funk music. The song was dedicated to another friend of the band. The middle section features a slide guitar solo and, like we said, some female moaning sounds.
Nice.
Axl talked her into having a very special recording session.
I like it.
After the next chorus, the music changes and they play a really cool and heartfelt section of music there. Axl has said it's like there's hope and a friendship note at the end of the song. The quiet part has a pretty Stonesy vibe there. You want to hear something cringy?
Yes.
When I was in high school, I quoted some of these lyrics at the end of the song in a card to my girlfriend at the time. Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yup. A
I love
perfect
that.
ending to the album on a very upbeat and positive note.
That's fucking great. Oh, boy. She's like,
Yep.
you're so
Perfect
good.
ending to your street cred, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
You should put this in a song. It would be great. Ed.
Rocket Queen. Great opening with the bass and drums. Love it. Such an infectious groove.
Oh, so good.
I'm going to give the guitars props on this song because what I really like is during the verses, they're not playing something repeatedly. It's like they're almost freestyling in each verse behind it. I mean, there's the main riff, but then that goes away once it transitions and Axl starts singing, and it's like the two of them are just soloing ever so gently behind it, and I absolutely love it. They seem to really like having a breakdown in every song, and that's really just a big negative for me. The continual key changes in what is now forever ingrained in my brain, as I said at the beginning, is the Guns N' Roses formula for writing a song. When I got to this point, and that just reared its ugly head, I couldn't get it back out of my head. I hear it every time, in every song, every time I go and hear it again. Great song, but it kind of spoiled and dropped everything down a bit for me. But yeah, this is a great, great song. Love it.
Did the moaning part bother me? No. In a perfect world, would I remove that section from this song and would it make the song better? Yes. So there you go. I always thought that it kind of broke the mood of the song for me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Fee.
Nah, just Axl being a dick. Dave,
Yeah.
did you say message of friendship towards the end?
That's the quote that Axl had said. It's like there's hope and a friendship note at the end of the song.
Was he hoping to repair his friendship with Steven Adler for fucking his girlfriend on tape? Like you said?
No, I think this was about the girl that they were writing the song about. That
Oh,
I
Barbie Von
think that
Grief.
was who it was
Yeah.
directed to.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Gotcha. Cool. Obviously, playlist tune. I'll blow my load on it right now. This is my favorite track on the album for sure.
It's
this is
so
a good one.
good. It's
Yeah.
so good, isn't it?
Um,
Lynn's like, make sure you say this is my favorite song. It's so good.
And overall, I mean, at this point too, just to kind of close it out, I'm thinking I'm liking the R side better than the G side of this album. I don't know. Overall, just at least this past week or two. Yeah.
Maybe. I think you might be onto something there. But it is spread out very nicely. They did such a nice job of arranging this album. Okay,
Over.
so that's it. We have broken down Appetite for Destruction. I am glad that I saved it. Dude, I had this bullet in the holster on so many occasions. I said, it's just not time. It's just not time. We did it. Ed disappointed me a little bit, but it's okay. We'll get by it. We'll get past it. Okay, and now it is time to release
The bonus track.
this week's bonus track was requested by me because you guys don't make requests, even though they're free. So go figure. My pick was Sweet Emotion to connect this to Slash's use of the talk box. Yeah, so what can I say? Come on, guys. My favorite song from one of my favorite bands. I mean, it's so moody. It's incredible. I take this song, I put it on, and I just feel like it's 1979, and I'm in fucking a car going to get my Aerosmith tickets with the cast of fucking Dazed and Confused. And, you know, you got to join. All right, all right, all right. That's this song in a nutshell. 100 watts. Just like this album. Dave, what do you got?
All right, some great Tom Hamilton bass licks to start up the song. And hey, we hear some talk box from Joe Perry. I talked about this earlier. Joe made some extra use of this in the live version of the song. And instead of a box on the floor, Joe's version of the device actually lived in a bag slung over his shoulder like he was some kind of Old West bandito or something. Everything else with the tube going into his mouth and singing through the microphone with the guitar tone worked the same way. This is another one where my perception is tinted by the fact that I've heard and also played this one on stage a billion times. Good vocal harmony, great crunchy rhythm guitar sound in the verses. A lot of percussion, vibra-slap, shakers, and triangle can be heard. Steven Tyler has claimed in interviews they had no regular maracas at the studio when they recorded, and the shakers were actually sugar packets. Recording is a little unbalanced. The drums are quiet and the bass is pushed way up. But the guitar solo at the end, super cool. I'll give it a 79.
All right. I like that. There's a lot of information. I was like, that song's cool. Reminds me of fucking Dazed and Confused. Ed, what do you got?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what can I say? It's one of the most iconic bass lines ever. I mean, every bass player has learned to play it. It's so much fun. It's a great song. Yeah, Dave, definitely overplayed. I mean, I played it a gazillion times as well. But, I don't know. Old Aerosmith to me is so fucking good. I gave it an 86.9.
86.9? Little low.
Yes.
Both you guys. Little low. I'm disappointed. This is Sweet Emotion. Fee. Sweet Emotion, guys. Hang on. Can I just say that? It's
I'm
Sweet
with you, Dave.
Emotion.
It's not Making a Promise. It's not Combination. It's not Get
I'm
the
not
Let
familiar-
Out.
I'm not familiar with those songs over this one.
Those are all better Aerosmith songs.
Not a fucking chance in hell. Fee, go. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. This one just makes me feel good. I love listening to this fucking song every single time, and I'm with you, Des. I gave it 100 watts. I just enjoy this every single time. Unlike you players who play it every single time you go out on stage, but hey, I get it. It gets burnt out on you, but not burnt out on me. Not yet.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Nope.
Thank you, Fee. Whatever you do to Appetite, you just redeemed yourself 100% on this one. Okay. Ed, what's the score?
All right. Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith is pushing a rock-solid kick-ass 91.47 watts.
Pretty good. It's in the 90s. I'll take it. Dave, where does that land on the breaking vinyl? Breaking vinyl.
Bonus track chart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
My brain stopped working. I couldn't
Oh,
say it.
Oh, no.
It was a glitch in the Matrix.
It was. I was frozen.
All right, so
Holy
Aerosmith's
shit.
Sweet Emotion comes in at number 5 on the Breaking Vinyl bonus track chart, just under Deep Purple's Highway Star and over ELO's Don't Bring Me Down. Bruce.
This is better than Highway Star, I think. Maybe. That's good. That's fucking rare air. I think it's right there. I mean, it's up there. What's number 1 again?
Let's see. Number 1 is Springsteen, Born to Run.
Okay. Okay. What's number 2? I just got to know the top 5.
David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust at number 2.
Yep.
Queen, Fat Bottom Girls at number 3. Deep Purple, Highway Star at number 4.
Okay. I think the Queen song is too high. That's not even close to the best Queen song. That's too high. And I think number 1 might be off. But anyways, I digress.
Stop.
Let's give our final scores on this album, and oh no,
So we're gonna do our favorites.
yeah, we are, dude.
Yeah.
I took an extra nighttime gummy, like maybe a half an hour into the show, and now my brain is like gone. I took the whole 5. Okay. What song is my favorite song? My favorite song is Rocket Queen. What song I would cut? I would not cut a song. I know it's breaking the rules of the show, but I'm not doing it. So there you go. I'm not removing anybody. I'm not replacing anybody. I'm not doing it. This week is going to be an outlier. I'm just not doing it. Dave, what do you got?
All right. Favorite track, Rocket Queen.
Nice.
Track I would cut is a real tough call, but if I had to pick, I would say You're Crazy. And then the replacement, especially this band at this time, you cannot make substitutions. It's bad enough they started adding people in the 90s. Keyboard player, horn section, synth programmer, bassoon player. Get the fuck out of here. Easy substitution will replace Axl with Michael Monroe from Hanoi Rocks.
Sure. Okay. I'll buy that album. I'll buy that album. That's a
That's
good
right.
album. Okay. Yeah, I endorse that. I'm stamping it. Ed, what do you got?
Oh boy. Favorite track is Night Train. Track I would cut is Think About You. If I had to replace one member of the band, I actually didn't do this because I forgot to look it up, but I know who I would get rid of, and that would be Axl Rose. But since I can't think of someone off the top of my head, I'm fine with Michael Monroe filling in because I think he would be a good fit for the band.
He would. He would.
Right.
It might even be a better album. Who knows? Fee.
That's a pretty good idea. I didn't even think of that, but I know I've used him as a replacement before, so I'm going to use somebody different when I get to this. But favorite Rocket Queen, cutting, Think About You. I wrote replace Axl with Tom Kiefer, but I don't know. Either way, Axl's fucking gone.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
Tom Kiefer. I like that. That's interesting. I'd like to hear that album. That's a
Me
different
too.
album. I'm going to go ahead. All right. I Think About You. If I had to cut one, it would be I Think About You. And I like Michael Monroe for Axl, so you guys brought it tonight. Okay, final thoughts. In my opinion, this is by far the best modern rock album ever written or recorded. It's complete in every single way. So for me, this album is pushing 101 watts. It sits alone atop the Breaking Vinyl mountain. Dave, what do you got?
All right, I got a long one here.
Okay, go ahead.
This album was recorded almost 40 years ago on what might as well be a different planet. At this point, all these years later, it's legend and very difficult to separate fact from fiction. How are these guys still alive with all the booze and drugs they did? Did they really record an all-out sex orgy for the middle part of Rocket Queen? Was one of their biggest hits really written top to bottom in an afternoon? Everything is mixed perfectly. The drums sound ace. The bass is beefy and very clear, never buried. The guitars are killer, and the parts are moved out of the way when not needed. And Axl is, well, Axl. You're going to hear him no matter what. This band turned lots of us onto bands like the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, and Alice Cooper that were maybe before our time, but also at this time, more modern bands who were great and never quite received the sales or recognition that GNR did, like Hanoi Rocks and Rose Tattoo. I also want to say good for Slash. He became the rock guitar player from the 80s to the 90s to today, appearing everywhere from soloing on a Lenny Kravitz record in 1991, guesting on many other records, to playing live and on music video with Michael Jackson, to playing live this year at the Oscars in 2024. He definitely cemented a place for himself in the pantheon of guitar heroes. Here's something I found that I thought summed up the album perfectly on an English website, thequietest.com. A gentleman named David Benin writes, "The riffs at times border on metal. The energy not only feels but almost smells like punk rock. The whole is a feral, swirling, serrated thing with tunes and colors popping off it like fireworks. This, no question, is going to be quite something." He continues later in the article, "This is not a nice album. It was not made by nice people. It is an extraordinary and ugly and sensational album that could not conceivably have been made by anyone other than awful people."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love that quote. A
I
lot
love
of
that.
great art is like that. This is dangerous rock and roll. The band fell apart right after this and was ruined by their success. And now the fact that they are old men putting on a nostalgia show, but we still have this. It's a shame that time has dulled the blade edge of this to where you can hear Sweet Child used in a commercial for baby food or some shit. This music has been and always will be with me. It has influenced the way I write songs and play guitar. My score for Appetite for Destruction, 98.
98 big ones. And I hope that little fucking excerpt from Dave bumped your score up a little bit.
10
It should. 10 points. It should.
Why do you think that I'm gonna give it a shitty score?
I just have a feeling in my gut like I ate Indian food. You know? Like, not that there's anything wrong with Indian food.
Oh God.
I just have a very
No.
just go.
Sensitive tummy.
I do. I do.
So yeah, I mean, what can you say? This Appetite for Destruction absolutely changed the world when it broke. It was nice to do a little bit of a deep dive into it because I actually learned a lot of things about the band that I didn't know, about the album that I didn't know. However, hearing it years later, some of the things weren't as, I guess, clean as I thought they were, and kind of exaggerated the bad that I thought I heard when I was younger. But still, it's an iconic album. It is full of amazing songs. I gave it a 94.3.
Dave's like, I don't give a fuck what you thought of this album as he got up and walked away. You're like, let me tell you what I thought of this album. He's like, oh my God, I gotta go get a fucking beer.
Yeah, he reads War and Peace and then gets up and leaves.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
So,
I
Dave,
missed it.
Dave, you just missed 30 seconds and you were the absolute fucking feature in the conversation. You'll have to go back and listen to the show.
Will do.
So, Ed, did you say you gave it a 94?
I did, a 94.3.
94.3. I feel bad now for being mean to you during the podcast.
That's
That's
because you are so fucking shallow as a human.
Oh, shit. We've gone down quite a rabbit hole of feet. Come on, man. Don't fuck
Wow.
me on this.
but
Don't fucking do it.
I'm not gonna fuck you on this.
All right. Just
Not on this. Maybe on
the
some
right
of the
thing.
other shit you put out there, but this isn't
Okay.
shit. This is good
Okay.
shit.
okay.
No, I could say like this would be a 100-watt album, but today like I just can't fucking stand listening to Axl at all. I can't. It fucking drives me insane. But every single song has value. Every single song I felt is well written and well played. Like I just, and then there's that nostalgia bit that kicks in, you know, and it brings you back to being a kid again, you know, and I love it. So with that, and without even listening to Ed's score, I gave it a 94.5 watts.
Wow. So you guys heard it exactly the same? Huh?
Yeah.
Great. I
Yeah.
just couldn't be happier with these scores, guys. I mean, honestly, I was hoping we would all going to say 100 and kumbaya this thing to the top of the mountain so
No.
it couldn't be knocked off, but
You two
Alas.
sucked all the dicks. You two
Yeah.
sucked all the dicks. Yeah.
That sucks.
So-
All right. You know what? I was going to take the whole thing about us not being a gay podcast off, just not to offend anybody. But like I said, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
right.
But now I think I have to just leave it in. I just got to
Yes.
leave
Yes.
it in. Okay. We're unanimous on that.
Yep.
Ed,
All right.
what's the score?
I'm just going to help you out here, Des. I'm just going to give you the score so we can move on.
Okay.
Appetite for Destruction, the debut album from Guns N' Roses, is pushing a monstrous 96.7 watts.
That's a lot of watts. Okay, Dave, where does that score land on the Breaking Vinyl chart, which is growing to a massive proportion?
It sure is. And guess what? We have a new #1 on the Breaking Vinyl album chart. And that's Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
I'm gushing right now, guys. I'm
And,
gushing.
and just so you know, I did not give it the 101 that Des said because 100 is the maximum you can do.
I know. I tried to slip it in, guys. I'm gushing, though. I'm gushing. This makes up for what happened to fucking Nothing Shocking. Like this and Neighbors, the movie.
I can't believe you just mentioned that in the same fucking sentence.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so that's it. Ed, if I am not mistaken, you have the next pick. Is that right?
That would be correct.
All right. Well, tell us and our listeners what album we'll be listening to over the next couple of weeks.
All right, we're going to listen to an album that I've never actually heard the whole album. I've only heard the hits off it. But everyone says it is a monster album, being what it is. And I am picking Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot because I like some Alanis. She's aggressive.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
everyone, you know what? I've never heard the whole first album, and well, I think this is their first album at least. And
Mhm.
everyone says that this album is just a fantastic album. So we'll see.
Didn't the drummer of Foo Fighters
Rock,
play on
yes.
this?
Yep.
Yeah, all right,
I don't know
man.
if he played on the album. I know he toured with her.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. It's going to be great. Okay, last week we reviewed My Cousin Vinny on Hey Did You Ever See That Movie, our sister podcast. This week we will be doing Fight Club with Tony. So there you go. If you like those movies, go check
Great
that out.
movie.
Until next time, take those albums out of the sleeve and let the music breathe. Thanks for joining us. See you there.
See ya.
Later.